my name's Jo Blackwell and I'm a research associate.
So you've gone into a role at the university. What was the process going into that? So did you study beforehand and then?
Yeah, so I completed my PhD here jointly with another university, but I was hosted here. And then as I got towards the end of that, a part-time research position came up, which I applied for and got. And then that's now full-time now. I've finished my PhD. So my PhD was like a sociological exploration of cardiac rehabilitation. I did it with sport and exercise science, so it was looking at exercise and health in cardiac patients.
Tell me a bit about your experience at the university when you were a student here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really flexible. Doing a PhD, I could work anywhere, so I could be at home or I could be on campus in any building at any time, which is quite nice because you kind of work out when a good time to work for you is, even if it's the middle of the night. You could come onto campus if you wanted. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a nice campus.
And what would you say to a current student that wants to go into a research role as you have? What advice would you give to them?
I'd say be open-minded because I didn't expect to go into a research role. That kind of wasn't my reasoning for doing the PhD. But I'm really enjoying it, and it's almost a new career path for me that I didn't expect to take. So just be open to all the opportunities that are available.
And within your role, what does it kind of consist on like a day-to-day basis of someone that wants to go into it? If you explain a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I'm working in the School of Health and Social Care at the moment. So my projects are all health and social care based. So as a researcher, it's sometimes I'm setting up the project or sometimes I'm just doing the field work for a project. So it can be anything from doing the ethics applications, putting all the paperwork, information sheets and things like that together, then going out and recruiting the participants for a study, doing the field work, so interviewing people, observations, surveys, all that kind of stuff. I've done those online as well as in person, and then there's all the writing up, data analysis and writing up at the end into a final report.
Wow, it's quite like full on then.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to it. So tell me a bit about the support that was available to you whilst you were studying and as a staff member as well.
So I had two supervisors here at Lincoln who were fantastic. They were really supportive and understanding of sort of my needs as a mature student with a family. And yeah, they were great. They were there whenever I needed them, but equally left me alone to get on with things too, which was really good. And as a staff member, that's kind of carried on. It's with I'm actually still working with some of the supervisory team, but moved to a different school now. But brilliant support, fantastic relationship with everyone really, and just they're really supportive and encouraging, and again give you the freedom to do what they know you're capable of doing, but at the same time fantastic support if you need it. I took on the role as PGR rep for the school, and then I also did was like the Athena Swan representative as well. At the time in the school, and I also took on a voluntary role as an editorial assistant for a journal. One of my other supervisors was the editor for that journal, so I was sort of wondering whether I had time to do that as well, but it was a great experience, so I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, and in terms of managing your time, when you were doing your research and things, how did you do that? Like any tips and tricks on how to manage it?
I mean, I always treated it like a job. I gave up a job to start doing my PhD, so I was used to working. But that said, I know that I work better into the evening. I mean, you could literally work on a PhD 24 hours a day if you wanted to. There's enough to do, but you have to kind of set time to do it, particularly when you've got other things going on in your life and commitments. It can take over everything if you let it. So yeah, treat it like a job, whether that job's in the middle of the night or it's in the daytime in terms of hours. I tried to keep my weekends free as well, again to make sure that I gave time to my family. But I mean, enjoy the process as well. I think that's, again, what I miss about it is the whole process is an experience. Even though it's hard, it's an experience that I look back on quite favourably.
Yeah. And then in terms of your current role again, how was the recruitment process for the university?
Yeah, it was good. I've had sort of quite a few interviews over the years and was getting a bit disillusioned with the recruitment processes where people don't keep you informed, and then you go for an interview and you put loads of effort into it and then they don't let you know the outcome, and it was just really frustrating. But I didn't have that experience with the university, which was really nice. Ironically, I'd applied for a job here quite a few years ago and had an interview, and they gave me feedback immediately, and I remember saying to them thank you, because people just don't do that anymore, and it's just a general courtesy. But same with this. So it was all timely. Everyone kept me informed. I did the interview online, which I'm kind of getting used to now. Had to do a presentation, but I've been used to doing that kind of stuff with my PhD. So it was sort of like a plan for what I'd want to do in the role over the next 6 or 10 months, I think it was. And so I felt kind of prepared for that based on what I'd done before. And then, I got a telephone call later that day to say, we'd like to progress things with you. And so it was brilliant. I was kept informed all along the way, and it was a nice experience, actually.
Nice smooth process there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And how was it transitioning from being a student to being a staff member? Like the transition between it, was it difficult? Did you find it quite easy?
I wouldn't say it was difficult. I mean, I did both in tandem for a little while I submitted my PhD and then waited for my Viva. And I suppose with a PhD student, you're responsible to yourself, sort of.
Yeah, it's all on you, isn't it, really?
What time you get up in the morning, what time you start work. I remember when I started in the first week, I said, is it all right if I take a day off to go to my kids' sports day? And they were like, you don't have to ask for stuff like that. But I was used to booking leave and things. And so now when you're a staff member, obviously, yes, you do need to communicate with your line manager and book time off and stuff. But it's been fine. I think having a supportive line manager and working in a good environment, it has made it really smooth.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you for sharing your experience today, and thank you for taking part in the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm sure it will have been useful for anyone listening that's wanting to transition into a job role after their research.